Okay, so you have this amazing idea, it's burning to get out in the world, you're trying to get started. You know that there's all these amazing tools, but it can be kind of overwhelming trying to figure out where to get started. My goal when we work together is to make you a stunning plug and play collection of elements that you can use across different platforms, social media, websites, print materials, without needing any expensive software or design experience. So a really well-crafted visual identity is going to communicate a ton of information in just a couple seconds. It's going to share your values, how you show up in the world, that critical first impression that you're going to nail or not. When we work together, it's really important to me that we build a really spacious timeline on our project. We're making art together. It's commercial art, it's art for a purpose, but we're making art. It's about aesthetic, it's about emotion, it's about communicating values. In my experience, all of those things get so much better if we just give them some breathing room. Maybe you really know what it is that you want right off the bat. If that's the case, tell me your secret. But most people, they need time to explore and figure out where they're going to take that dream to the place of delivery. Okay, so you're ready to get started, or you at least want to find out more. In either place, we're going to start with an initial design consultation, which is free. We're going to have a conversation, and you're going to share with me all about your big dream, what you want to share with the world, who you're talking to, what the values are, if you have a launch date, and what kind of budget you're thinking. Based on our initial conversation, the next step is that I'm going to make a project scope. This is going to outline the specific products that I'm going to make for you, what the timeline is, the exact costs, so that you can review it at your leisure and decide what best works for you. Making this detailed project scope together, it allows us to identify what the right priorities are to invest in. Maybe you're working with an audience who are super color conscious and you want to look at 10 different color combinations. Maybe you're super picky about fonts. That detailed project scope that we make is going to allow you to choose where the right places are to invest and where the best places are to streamline. So in many ways, the project scope is the most important part of this whole process. It lays out all of the things that you need and I need to create a product that you're thrilled with. When we lay out clear expectations for each other, that keeps us on the same page and makes sure we're working towards the same goal. Okay, we've made a project scope, we know what we're doing, we're both excited about it, we're in alignment. What's next? To get started on the project in earnest, you're going to need to do two things. Sign a contract with all the agreements that we made in the project scope and put down your initial deposit. That helps me hold the date in my calendar and make sure that we're working at the same time. Okay, signed your contract, put down the deposit, we have our dates, we're ready to get started. What's the first step? First, we're going to create the art direction for this project. It's creating a mood board, an aesthetic that is going to help inform all the rest of the work that we do together. From that art board, I'm going to start crafting the logo first. This is the heartbeat of the whole rest of the visual identity, and once we nail that, all of the rest of the pieces are going to fall in line around it. The very beginning of our logo work together, we're just going to look at form and structure without any color. Color can be really distracting. It brings up complex emotions with people, and I want you to look at the structure of your logo to make sure that it's going to work in the places that you need it to without all of that emotional color. After we found a logo structure and design that you are in love with, that's when we really get to start to play with it. Now we're going to try fonts. Do you want a fancy font? Do you want a bold font? Let's imagine it with a fancy font and some blue color. We're going to play around and really dive into a whole bunch of different options. How many options that you get to review and how many rounds of revisions are going to depend on the budget and project scope that we agreed on at the beginning. We did it. We made an awesome logo for you. Are you ready to get going? Okay, not quite yet. Now that we have the logo ready, now we're going to make all of the support structure that are going to reinforce that logo even when people aren't seeing it. This is when I'm going to start making the fonts that you might use in your social media posts, on your website. It's the support fonts. They may be the same ones in your logo, they may not. I'm also going to start making the really fun texture and element icons that you can use so that your audience knows that it's you even without having to see that logo. how many different variations of logo elements, archetypes, textures, that's all dependent on what your needs and budget are. Once we've decided on all of them and made an agreement, I'm going to package them up into this really great brand guide. That means that you will be able to refer to that when you're working on Canva or any of these other tools, or you can work with other designers and they're going to be able to keep a consistent look and feel. Once everything is completed, I'm going to send you a watermarked version of all of the final products and you'll give me your final approval. This part has to be in writing so I can attach it to our contract. Once you've given your final approval, I'm going to send you your final invoice. Once that invoice is paid, I'm going to send off all of your elements to you for your brand new visual identity, and you are going to be ready to run out into the world and tell your story.